After spending $180,000 on 5 different SUVs in just 3 years and tracking every single repair cost, every insurance premium, every gallon of gas, the best one is the one dealerships actually tried to steer me away from. And I've got the receipts to prove it. In the next 12 minutes, you're going to discover the exact SUV that gave me the lowest total cost of ownership across 3 years, and it's not the one you think. The 3 features that actually matter for families with kids, and the 7 that marketing teams want you to obsess over but don't. And why dealerships push you toward more expensive options that pad their profit margins while costing you thousands more over time. Look, I know what you're thinking. Another YouTube car guy telling you what to buy. But here's the thing. I've got the receipts. Real receipts. From March 2023 to January 2026, I owned a Toyota RAV4, a Mazda CX-5, a Subaru Outback, a Hyundai Tucson, and yes, a Honda CR-V. Every oil change, every brake pad replacement, every unexpected repair, every insurance payment, all documented in a spreadsheet that would make an accountant cry. And if you're a family trying not to get ripped off at the dealership, hit that like button right now, because this information is going to save you actual, real money. The kind of money that pays for family vacations, not dealership margins. So here's what I did. I created what I call the real cost matrix, not the sticker price. That's the trap everyone falls into. I tracked 7 specific data points over the entire ownership period. Monthly payment including interest. Insurance premiums from 3 different carriers. Fuel costs calculated at 12,000 miles per year with real-world driving, not EPA estimates. Scheduled maintenance at dealership rates. Unexpected repairs, and trust me, there were some doozies. Resale value after 3 years based on actual CarMax offers. And this is the important one that nobody tracks. Family Practicality score based on cargo space, third row access if applicable, and car seat compatibility. Because if you've got 2 car seats, a diaper bag, a stroller, and you're trying to load groceries, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The specs on paper don't tell you if you'll actually be able to close the trunk. Now, before I reveal the winner, I need to tell you about a conversation I had with a dealership finance manager. This was off the record, after hours, someone I'd built trust with over multiple purchases. He told me something that completely changed how I think about SUV shopping, and honestly, how I think about the entire car buying process. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "The cars we push hardest aren't the best for you. They're the ones with the highest profit margins for us. We get bigger bonuses on certain models. That's why you'll hear us talk up specific features or push certain trim levels." And when I asked him which cars actually make customers happy long-term, the ones where people come back smiling instead of complaining, what he said surprised me. He said, "The ones we usually try to upsell you away from." Okay, let's talk real numbers. Starting with purchase price, because that's where everyone begins. The 2026 Toyota RAV4 LE starts at $32,500. The Mazda CX-5, $30,200. Honda CR-V Sport, $31,750. The Hyundai Tucson, $29,900. And the Subaru Outback, $33,000. So on paper, looking at that list, the Tucson wins, right? Cheapest option, save money up front. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is where most people make the $10,000 mistake. Over 36 months of actual ownership, here's what I spent on total cost, everything included. RAV4, $47,200 total. CX-5, $44,100. CR-V, and this is what shocked me, $38,900. Tucson, $43,500. Outback, $49,800. Let that sink in. The cheapest SUV, the Tucson, cost me $4,600 more than the CR-V over 3 years. The most popular SUV, the RAV4, cost me $8,300 more than the CR-V. How is that possible? 2 transmission repairs on the Tucson at 22,000 miles and 31,000 miles, both covered under warranty, but I lost a combined 5 days without a vehicle and paid for rentals. The Outback needed a head gasket replacement at 28,000 miles. That's a $2,100 repair
that the service advisor told me sometimes happens. The RAV4's insurance was 22% higher than the CR-V because theft rates are significantly higher. It's the most stolen SUV in America. I didn't know that until my insurance agent told me after I'd already bought it.
But here's what nobody in the auto industry talks about, and what most YouTube reviews completely ignore: the invisible costs. The CR-V has the lowest depreciation rate of any SUV in its class. After 3 years and 36,000 miles, it retained 68% of its value. I got actual offers from CarMax, Carvana, and my local Honda dealer. The Tucson? 51%. That's a $5,400 difference when you go to trade it in or sell it. Most people don't think about this, but that depreciation difference is money coming out of your pocket. The CR-V gets 32 miles per gallon combined in real-world driving. And I mean real-world, not EPA fantasy numbers. The Outback? 26 miles per gallon. Over 36,000 miles at $4.50 per gallon average, that's $1,875 more spent on gas. And here's something nobody mentions: parts availability and repair time. Honda parts are available everywhere. I never waited more than 2 days for any repair. The Mazda? I waited 3 weeks for a back-ordered parking sensor. 3 weeks. My CX-5 just sat at the dealership because they couldn't get the part. Now let's talk about what actually matters for families, because this is where the rubber meets the road. I've got 2 kids, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. Trust me, cargo space isn't about cubic feet numbers on a spec sheet. It's about reality. Can you fit a double stroller, 2 hockey bags, a week's worth of groceries, and still have room for emergency stuff? The CR-V? Yes, every single time. No problem, no Tetris, no removing bags to fit the last item. The CX-5? Only if you arrange everything perfectly like a jigsaw puzzle. And heaven forbid you need to grab something from the bottom of the pile. The rear doors on the CR-V open to 78 degrees, which might sound like a random number, but it means you can actually get kids in car seats without banging the door on the car next to you in a parking lot. I cannot tell you how many times I dinged the Subaru's door on other cars because it only opened to 65 degrees. And the third row situation? There isn't a third row in the CR-V, which for families with young kids is actually perfect. You don't need it yet, and without it, you get 76 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded down. That's more than most 3-row SUVs. Okay, unpopular opinion time. And I know this is going to upset some people. The Toyota RAV4 is the most overrated SUV of 2026. There, I said it. I know it's the best seller. I know Consumer Reports loves it. I know your neighbor probably has one and tells you it's great. But here's what nobody tells you because they don't track the numbers like I did. You're paying a Toyota tax of about $3,200 over 3 years just for the badge and the reputation. Insurance is genuinely higher because theft rates are 40% higher than the CR-V. This is documented by the National Insurance Crime Bureau. The hybrid version everyone raves about costs $5,000 more up front, and you need to drive 80,000 miles just to break even on the gas savings. Most people trade in or sell before they hit that number. Don't get me wrong, it's a good SUV, it's reliable. But the CR-V gives you 95% of the quality for 82% of the total cost. That's the definition of smart shopping. If you agree with this take, drop a comment that just says CR-V right now. Let's see if I'm alone in this opinion. So here are the 3 features that actually changed everything for me. The things that matter in daily life. Feature 1, Honda Sensing Suite. This is adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking, road departure mitigation. And here's the key, it comes standard. Not as part of a $2,500 technology package, not on certain trim levels, standard, on every single CR-V. On the Mazda, that exact same technology is in $1,800 package. Feature 2, the Cargo Management System. Now, this sounds boring until you actually use it. 4 adjustable tie-down points that actually hold things in place, a sliding cargo tray for smaller items, and a hidden storage compartment under the floor that fits, I'm not kidding, 5 full grocery bags. When was the last time you had groceries roll around in your trunk and found a smashed bag of bread or broken eggs? Not in this thing. Everything stays exactly where you put it. And feature 3, this one's subtle but it's huge for families with young kids. The interior materials. Every single surface that a kid can reach or touch is either water-resistant or actually wipeable. No fancy cloth that stains. No suede that absorbs spills. I once, and this is a true story, spilled an entire juice box on the back seat. My 3-year-old knocked it over and I watched in horror as 6 ounces of apple juice spread across the seat. I cleaned it up with wet wipes in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. No stain, no smell later. Try that in the Mazda's premium cloth interior. One more thing before you walk into a dealership, and this might be the most important money-saving tip in this entire video. When they show you the payment options and the finance manager tries to extend your loan to 72 or 84 months to lower your monthly payment and make it more affordable, here's the truth they don't want you to understand. On a $32,000 SUV at 6.5% APR, which is about average right now, a 60-month loan costs you $2,100 in total interest. That same exact loan stretched to 72 months, $3,600 in interest. You just paid $1,500 more for the exact same car, just for a lower monthly payment that sounds better. Never, and I mean never, go longer than 60 months unless you absolutely have to. That's the single biggest money saver that nobody talks about because dealerships make more money when you finance longer. So let me recap this fast. After $180,000 and 5 SUVs over 3 years, the 2026 Honda CR-V wins on every metric that actually matters. Lowest total cost of ownership, best resale value retention, lowest insurance premiums, best real-world fuel economy, most practical features for actual families with kids, standard safety technology that costs extra everywhere else. It's not the flashiest. It's not the one every influencer talks about. It's not the best seller that everyone defaults to, but it's the one that'll save you the most money while keeping your family safe, comfortable, and not leaving you broke from repairs. If you made it this far, you now know exactly how to save thousands on your next SUV purchase, which puts you ahead of 90% of people walking into dealerships this month who are about to overpay. If tracking real ownership costs instead of just sticker prices made sense to you, hit that like button. And drop a comment, RAV4 if you're sticking with Toyota, or CRV if this changed your mind. If you're not subscribed, do it now. Next Tuesday, I'm dropping the 5 dealership lies that cost you thousands. And if you know someone shopping for an SUV right now, your brother, your coworker, your neighbor, send them this video right now. I created a free SUV comparison spreadsheet that breaks down 15 different models. Link is in the description. Thanks for 12 minutes of your time. See you in the next one. Drive safe.